Hey people, guess what? Tonight, you're watching me cook without watching me cook. I'm just going to chop my vegetables for my soup while I talk to you without giving you instructions on how to make the soup, because that's too hard and that's not the point of the video, is it? Well, you may or may not know that I'm attempting to achieve 30 days of Uncut Chat for 20 minutes. I do this by having 2 lots of 10 minutes with a break in between for me to go and, I don't know what you think I do on the break time. Could be a number of things. I'm a bit of a mysterious sort of being that does many different things. I'm probably just going to scroll through Instagram like everyone else. You know, like back in the day, it used to be really cool to be different than everyone else, and I notice these days it's the other way around. You're cool if you're the same as everybody else. And also I find something that is very horrible for me is that it's cool not to care about the environment. Yeah, like you see all these people having like overseas trips just as like, oh, that's part of my right to have an overseas trip. Well, it's not, you know. Do you offset your carbon footprint when you do have this overseas trip? Usually people don't even think of that, but you know, and they don't think of what it costs environmentally to have that overseas trip. And also I notice in South Australia we have a toxic algae bloom off of our coast. And apparently it's because of the way when we were in drought, the runoff from the land was making things very toxic in the seas because of over farming. And also the fossil fuel industry has taken over our shores as well. And I notice there's a bunch of people driving around these days in SUVs and four-wheel drives, yet they do not go out of the city. And they do not, anyway, I'm not going to go on about people's children. I like to consider that if you thought you might have children, that you would think about it as in an environmental way. Like, oh, how are we going to make sure this being that we are choosing to bring into the world doesn't cause a toxic runoff in the state that they were born. So I'm looking at you people that have those four-wheel drives with the black and gold number plates. And I'm looking at you people that run your cars while you're waiting for people. It's so not cool. to think that you don't have to look after the environment. I can tell you from my experience that you will not be cared for on this earth if you do not look after it. All these scraps going into the compost. But another thing that happened today, I rang up and I get a text message at 10 o'clock Sunday morning that reminds me about my appointment on Tuesday. And also then half an hour later at 10:30, I get another text message to confirm my appointment with the same company for an appointment on Monday. So I rang up the company today and said to them, look man, it's just it's not appropriate to be texting me Sunday morning or on the weekend at all. I really believe that people should be taking time to themselves over the weekends and resting and things like that. And like, you know, there's been issues coming up in society about contacting your employees on the time outside of work hours and that sort of thing, how that's, you know, not done anymore. And quite frankly, contacting your customers outside of Monday to Friday 9 to 5 isn't very polite either. Like, I had years ago, I had a medical problem and I needed to speak to my doctor, and I did have his mobile number. But it was Sunday afternoon. I knew he was a church man. I knew that he'd be having dinner with his family and things like that. It's not my time to ring him. I have to deal with things on my own and try and help myself. Yeah, I don't like it that so many people like will ring you and say, oh, but you're the only hope I have, and there's more than one solution for everything. I've run out of peas, which is a shame, but I do have yellow split peas in the soup, and they're in there already. We've got to do the root vegetables and the pasta. We're making like a multi sort of multi-vegetable thing. If you have a mental illness, I'm going to say this very quickly. If you have a mental illness and it's out of check, everyone can have issues mentally. Don't go to work. Look, I'm not saying isolate yourself, but like, look after your problems, man. Like, don't don't think that they're other people's lot to have to put up with. And that, my friends, is the first 10 minutes. Okay, let's go. Second 10-minute video for a 20-minute video. I think we might even be up to video number 19, but every night when I'm doing the editing, I have to go back and look what number I'm up to so I can put the correct number in the title. Some nights I forget what I've talked about and just like sort of put like random shit in the title. But what I've been trying to do lately, if I have enough time, is go back and listen to the video and write notes and then note it in the title and the description. And it's very cluey on how to make these videos. Comment and like if you have been liking these videos. Tonight I am in bed yet again. I hang out in bed a lot, and because I take medication, I have to have time to wind down in between doing the medication and falling asleep to guarantee a beautiful night's sleep, which doesn't happen every night. Often I wake up and am awake for a long time. A lot of, like, if I hear someone knock on the door, I am awake for hours after that, and that really pisses me off. I think the kids around the corner do door knocking in the middle of the night because they are often unsupervised, and I did that sort of shit when I was young too. So could be them, could be some estranged ex-boyfriend. I did my first ever boyfriend, who was a bit of too much to handle. He, after we broke up, he used to stalk me and sit outside my bedroom window and like make life really uncomfortable for me. I was very fortunate in some ways, not in other ways, to get together with a crime boss after that, so he backed off. But yeah, I still wonder, how much of my bad luck is a result of him. I don't have heaps of bad luck, but I do have some, and I think it must, like, it's not just like coincidence. It's just me. I'm believe in I do believe in people fucking things up for other people. So, and I do believe in people making things good for other people too. And I know I've done that. And it happens. Like, it's not always something that is said amongst the public, the things that go on, behind the scenes, about not what you know, but who you know. And in a lot of cases, that can be what you know as well, because, like, if you go to a private school or university or something like that, you will have a lot more connections than other people in society. And that can be an advantage, or like if you want to be someone that doesn't want other people influencing them, like perhaps myself, I like being a solo practitioner of everything. I don't like workmates. I don't like having people around me. A lot of people think I'm a bit of a grumpy bum, but they don't really know how much fun I have, say, while I'm alone and, with the things I do around the house and with my hobbies and in the garden and with my cat, out walking, exercising. Yeah. I don't actually feel like talking anymore. And I want to get on with things. I'm reading this book, The Reality Slap. It's very good. I've been doing some mental health worksheets in order to observe my behaviour in this time of reducing my medication. I'm on my second week of reducing 5 milligrams of olanzapine down to 10 milligrams per night. I'm still not over the sedation, so I don't know how long that's going to take to leave, if it ever does. But even the recordings I've got of my voice when I'm a youngster, I'm much more vibrant than this. I haven't always been so like it bothers me that that's the case. Sometimes it bothers me so much that some of my videos I speed up, not the uncut ones, as in the uncut series that I'm doing, but the ones, particularly if it's a recipe one or something like that, sometimes I'll speed it up and it sounds a lot better to me. And that's really awful way of thinking about your own voice, isn't it? I like singing. I have a lot of fun singing when I have loud music on or my headphones on. Don't give a fuck who hears me. Kind of like the fact that someone can hear me, because you never hear anyone else sing. Oh, I did hear someone sing the other day. There is a alleyway where I live, or there's a few, but there's a particular one that someone has planted out beautifully with all these like drought resistant plants that they obviously don't have to water because it's an alleyway, it's public space, it doesn't have access to water and nobody's paying the bill. And I don't know how many people would walk down there. I'm not really sure. But I chose to walk down there, and then the person from the house next to the alleyway who has like the garden that matches the alleyway, they just broke out into song. And I thought, oh wow, they know I'm here and they know I'm digging their gardens. And that was really nice. I meet some really cool people around my neighbourhood. I'm one of those people that go around talking to everyone and saying hi, that sort of thing, and also giving daggers to people I don't like. Something that really bothers me is the etiquette of people on the footpath. Now, traditionally, an older person or a female you would let them pass on the inside of the footpath, and the young man or the man or anyone of a male gender would pass on the outside. Now, if I have a pram, same thing. Anyway, 10 minutes is up. I'm not going to complain anymore at you. You get enough shit like that in your own life, I'm sure. Bye.